Welcome to part 2 of this week's episode of Dildos Dislocations, my not-so-new series where I bring you all of the intricacies of the intersection of disability and sexuality, plus a whole bunch you probably already know, didn't want to know, but are going to find out here very shortly about both those things and me. That brings me to myself. I'm Rye. I am your host. And let's dive right in, shall we? If you are just tuning in, you didn't watch part 1, we are currently talking about the intricacies and differences between sexuality, sex, and gender. What do they mean? What are the definitions? Which ones am I assigned at birth? Which ones do I have control over? What do I change? How does this work? How do I respect other people? Pronouns, the whole nine. This was originally supposed to be a Pride Month episode that was going to come out in June, but life happened. So here we are. Little recap. We have discussed the definition of sex, biological sex, something that you are assigned at birth as far as the genitals and the sexual hormones and reproductive anatomy that you are born with. And the definition of gender, which is something that changes and evolves over time. It is how you personally identify with your gender, whether that being male, female, non-binary, undisclosed, confused, figuring it out, in between, trans, something on this beautiful giant spectrum that gender is. It's ever evolving. It is absolutely not static. It can change as many times as you need it to. Your gender is something that is fluid. Yeah. So we've covered both of those things. Now we're going to dive a little bit into sexuality. What is sexuality, you may ask? Well, guess what? I have another definition. So sexuality, per Webster's dictionary, is defined as a person's identity in relation to the genders to which they are typically attracted. I feel like that's a very, just the top. It's just skimming the surface of what sexuality is as a whole, right? So, babe, if I had to ask you to define sexuality, what would you call it?
Brian Mason.
Oh my God. That was a good answer. Fine. My peanut gallery. Peanut gallery's trying to get some later. Nope, just kidding. So, pretending that this is Pride Month, or if you're here a lot, hey, we're heading to Pride this weekend. So, it's kind of our late Pride Month. It's Pride Month all the time in this house. What are you talking about? You should see the amount of rainbows.
Pride every day.
It's Pride every day. So, just with the state of the way things are lately, I'm sure those of you who are not a part of the Alphabet Mafia have been curious about how many more letters are we going to add to LGBT? QIA+. I tried to stop. So, sexuality, just like I said, the very, very bare bones, skimming the surface definition is just the genders that you are attracted to. I say that as a very bare bones type of definition because the sexuality dives into so much more than that. There are the type of people that you are attracted to. Say, for example, if I identify as a homosexual man, I would identify as my gender as male. Maybe that is the gender I was assigned at birth. Maybe that is something I have transitioned to, but that is the gender that I have assigned myself. And I'm identified to that same sex. Okay? Lesbian, woman and woman. Same kind of concept, right? All right, cool. Very cool. Where does demisexual or asexual fall into these things? Sapiosexual. There are so many, and I'm not going to sit here and define each and every one for you. I promise we would be here all night. There are ones that I am still learning to this day. Those of you who do not know how I got into this world, my bachelor's degree is in human sexuality. So with that, a lot of these terms didn't even exist when I graduated with this degree in 2013. the study of sexuality and human expression and gender identity, it's an ever-evolving science that we're still learning so much about. So your sexuality isn't just who you're attracted to, but also how you're attracted to them. How does that work? Okay, well, we'll use demisexual as an example. So someone who identifies as demisexual is only sexually attracted to someone if they also have an emotional connection, generally first, but they have to have both. They have to have an emotional connection in order to have a sexual connection with them, okay? Someone who is asexual is someone who doesn't experience physical sexual attraction at all. Okay, all right, very cool. So what I'm saying is that sexuality is also, very similarly to gender, a spectrum, something that is ever evolving, ever changing, for some, not all. Some people are born knowing, came out of the womb the day I figured out that I could be attracted to someone, I knew it was gonna be the same sex as me, a different sex than me. I knew it, and it's never changed, and that's awesome, and that is great for y'all. I don't know about y'all who are listening, but I believe that my sexuality has changed more time than my haircut, and let me tell you, I have had a lot of haircuts. Now, does this mean that I don't know what I want? No. It means that as I have aged, I've grown older, and I've learned that there are different terms that either I just didn't know about or that we grew to define as I aged that better encompassed how I felt about other people sexually and romantically. Started out, I do not ever remember a time in my life where I thought I was straight. Let's just get that one right on out there. There was a Mia Hamm poster that my best friend had. We were in first and second grade, and I was gonna marry Mia Hamm. I knew it. That's what I was gonna do. I have always known that I was attracted to more than one sex, but I didn't always have the words to say what that meant. So coming up through high school, I was like, yeah, I am bisexual. That is the term that I like. Okay, bisexual, that sounds great. Cool. Then I got to college. In college, one of my roommates was born with female presenting anatomy, transitioned, and identifies as a man. I'd never met someone who was transgender before. This threw me for a loop. Okay, well, how does transgender fit into bisexuality? Well, now I know, because education is all it's about. The bisexuality isn't literally talking about two sexes. It's an all-encompassing term, but at the time, the term pansexuality was presented to me. And this was love of all genders, or love of all, or falling in love with someone without being attracted to a certain set of genitalia. And I said, hey, that's me. I like that term a lot better. So I came home and I came out to my parents again. I said, Mom and Dad, I'm pansexual. And good old Lee Mason goes, oh, so you're attracted to frying pans now. And I said, fuck, I need a new term. Hi. Pansexual just never, I don't know, it never flowed for me. It never sat right for me, and that's fine. Was this more of the way that I was feeling as a person, who I was attracted to, who I loved? Did that ever change? No. I always was this fluid kind of person. I was attracted to beings, not genitalia. I didn't give a shit what was between your legs. We'd figure that out later. I have to fall in love with you and your brain, and be sexually attracted to you and your brain and your, whatever. The actual equipment was... So then as I got older and I was like, it still doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right with me. I don't know what that, it's just, nope, that's not the word for me. Then I discovered the word queer. At the time I started identifying as queer, I was also in a polyamorous marriage, an open marriage. I was part of the BDSM community. There were so many things that I was ticking off this list of, Ryan, how do you identify? Like, Jesus Christ, we're gonna be here talking for like an hour. Oh my God, I'd have to explain all these definitions. It's a whole thing. So I just started telling people I'm queer. I am a queer woman. What does that mean? way more than you can comprehend, let me tell you. Or now it's either I'm a queer woman or I identify as a rainbow. Fluid as fuck. It's what it is. Is that ever changing, ever evolving? Absolutely. I just went through a huge sexual awakening of, am I a lesbian? Am I more attracted to women? I've always been more sexually attracted to women than men. What does that mean for me? And you know what I finally came to? It doesn't fucking matter. Words are great. Words are great for self-expression. Words are great for us to express our loves and likes and dislikes to other people on this planet. Words and terms are sometimes very self-affirming. They can help me feel a better part of a community. I love identifying as a queer woman. I am a part of the LGBTQIA+ community. I love that. But do I necessarily need that term? No, I don't. I don't have to define my sexuality or my gender to anybody but me. And, you know, my partners and the people that I actually love and I'm sexually active with, those people, they may be, you know, interested. But at the end of the day, what terms I use to define me, who I love, and my own gender identity are absolutely up to me. I will never forget, there is a meme, and forgive me if you guys know the origin of this, it was a GIF. And I remember it was a little queer looking girl and she's trying to fit herself down in this cardboard box. And she was like, guys, but what if my sexuality and my gender, what if they don't fit into society's box? And then a drag queen comes behind her and sprays glitter and says, that's the beauty of it, darling. There is no box. And I love that because that's it, right? There is no box. There is no place that you have to conform yourself into. Now, society is going to make you feel like you do, that you have to either be male or female, that you either have to be straight or gay, and that is it. And that is absolutely not true. Why do you think our flag just keeps gaining colors? Why do you think LGBTQIA+ just keeps gaining acronyms? Because it is an ever-evolving spectrum, and it's an ever-evolving, non-static, beautiful part of humanity. Is it kind of difficult to grapple with sometimes because you feel like I need to fill out the hello, my name is Ryan and I identify as and my pronouns are and et cetera, et cetera. No, you don't have to do any of that. And I'll say it again, I said in the last video, that's coming from a place of somebody who is still grappling with it herself. Some days I do kind of think that I prefer the they, them pronouns. And that's something that's very new to me that I'm still kind of figuring out myself. Some days I'm not really sure. Am I a lesbian? Am I queer? Am I fluid? I don't know, but you know what I do know? I know who I am. I know that I'm Rye. I love rainbows. I love pretending like every single day of my life is pride, and so that everybody who sees me and gets to know me feels that same welcoming love and acceptance that you feel the second that you walk into a pride festival. That is what I know. I know that I am madly in love with another woman, and that we have a puppy in an apartment, and yes, that's you, and that she is the person that I want to spend the rest of my days with. That much I know. And that's all that really matters. That's the secret. There is no box. Free yourselves. And I think that's enough for today. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything, drop them below in the comments or send me a message. I love to hear from you guys. I could talk about these subjects forever and ever and ever. I only have 20 seconds left, so I will sign off saying, love yourself. You are always welcome here. And there is no box. Peace, guys.
Love you.